what do HBCUs need to become like that in society, right? So as passionate as you are about it, right, how can we make HBCUs that marketable and that passionate besides just like this is just what's trending on social media, or you know what I'm saying? Like not a trend, like this is the thing, a place that we need our folks at.
I think for us, we just have to believe in them. And I believe that there's enough evidence for us to do that. The predominance of Black lawyers and Black doctors, Black elected officials went to HBCUs. Now that's true because at a certain point they could only go to HBCUs, but just because they could only go to HBCUs doesn't diminish the idea of the success that has happened from young people who have gone to HBCUs. We have to believe in them and we have to support them even if we decide not to make that choice. One of the things I tell people all the time is, and again, I'm passionate about it, but I also know that a college choice is an individual decision.
Yeah.
And I don't, if somebody wants to go or needs to go to Stony Brook or needs to go to VCU, those are fine institutions, I support that. But even if you and your family decide that you're not sending your kids to HBCUs, it is critical that all African Americans support HBCUs so all kids in the future can continue to have that choice, even if they choose something different.
So what does that support look like?
It looks like us big up in each other. It looks like us sending our dollars. When we have disposable dollars we want to give, we send those to HBCUs. It's making sure that all of our kids, whether they go to HBCUs or not, that every single one of them takes an HBCU visit. It means that we really support. And support also means that we can be honest and hold our own feet to the fire, but also not be harder on ourselves than we are on other people. I'll use a restaurant example. If you go to McDonald's and they mess up your fries, you'll tell them they messed up your fries and go back the next week. But there's so many people that go to a Black restaurant and they mess up your fries, and you'll say, I'm never going there again, right? And so we're harder on our own institutions than we are on others' institutions. I'm not saying we shouldn't be hard and critical and honest, but not harder than we are on others.
So what do you think, like, what do you think that stems from though? Like us being so much harder and more critical on each other than when we dealing with other people?
I mean, there are those of us, and many of us sometimes suffer from this pathology. I suppose that sometimes I do, who believe that other people's ice is colder than ours. And we've got to stop that. We have to believe in our own greatness. We have to believe in what we can do.
I agree.
I
agree, and I think I'm gonna tell you, the biggest thing that I took away from VSU. And most people would think it would be educational wise, but the biggest thing I took away was I built my confidence here. And I feel like that's something that no one could take away from me. And that was so important to me because with everything that I do and everything that you do in life, you need confidence. Like walking in a room, talking to you right now, right? Being in front of the camera, speaking in front of people. I've learned all these things at VSU. And I also feel like I learned who I was, right? Like it gave me a chance to be away from my hometown, be away from what I was used to, and come here and just be embraced and loved by people who look like me. And I think that is super important in things that like you just can't get at other places, right? You really just can't get at another place. I don't think I would be the same person if I had went to a PWI. That's just my opinion.
There you go. So what was the best school for you?
What do you mean? Like HBCU.
That's right, Virginia State University.
Yes. And you know what's so crazy? So I learned about VSU on an HBCU tour.
Yeah.
It took me to go on that HBCU tour to learn what VSU was. And I feel like if I never went on that tour, I probably would have never knew this school existed.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I think like the things that you're saying are super important, especially in those youthful years, especially when college is such a big decision. Like I feel like college is like that first steps into your adulthood and is very pivotal to who you become as a person, as an adult, right? But back to